Yo, what's going on, Pigeon Pros family? It's your co-host Stefan Jones. Before we jump into episode 7, I wanted to give you guys a quick update. So, as many of you know, Justin and I, our really good friend Jeremy Yusuf, has been at the forefront of making sure we can make all of this happen. He's helped us with producing our episodes, with staging the set, with helping with creative ideas for content topics, content types like on social media and the YouTube and the full episodes. And he's really just been a huge part of making sure that our show comes to life. Like none of this happens without him. He brings so much technical skill and so much insight and just fun to what we do with this podcast. And I mention all this because Jeremy is stepping away to focus on his own endeavors and his own projects. And we wanted to just take a second to one, just thank you, bro. Thank you for everything you've done for not only the show, but for you guys, the family, the fans. Jeremy, you are somebody who I just look up to in so many ways. Like I know you and I, outside of the work life stuff that we do together, we've had a lot of difficult discussions, a lot of funny discussions, just a lot of great memories. And you helping with starting this show has easily been one of the biggest like timeline blips in our brotherhood and our friendship. And I'm so grateful for everything that you've done for me when it comes to the show, everything that you've done for the audience, the fans, the family. And you will be missed. I know you're not going to be gone forever. I know you'll still be supporting us from afar and hopefully, letting us know what you think of future iterations of the show. But just want to take a moment to really say thank you. Like you mean so much to everything that we've done. And this does not exist without you, seriously. And as Jeremy steps away, we are in the process of bringing on a new producer and editor. So we'll have more to come on that. This episode should be dropping around late April, early May. Justin's going to be gone doing a lot of vacay and just enjoying his life outside of work during that month. So you probably won't see us again until June or July in terms of full-length episodes, but we're still constantly strategizing more content ideas to help you guys learn how to really succeed in sports, music, and entertainment. So if there's anything in particular that you want to see from us on our social channels, or if you want to reach out to us directly to just ask for feedback on things or let us know what you want to see, definitely feel free to shoot us a DM on Instagram at Pitch and Pros. You can also email us, pitchandpros@gmail.com. We definitely want to make sure that while we're on this break, we can still give you guys the content that you need and deserve. So anyways, Jeremy, much love, brother. Thank you for everything. I can talk ad nauseum about how much you mean to me and everything, but I think I've made my point. So thank you. And hopefully hopefully good to have you back soon. So love you, bro. Take care.
I want to say my thanks to my brother forever. I'm very grateful for everything you've done, behind the scenes between you and I as brothers and as friends for not only myself, but everyone else around us in terms of our friend group and the people that we love and trust. But I think, a big thing is the impact you made for this podcast. I mean, we've talked about it episode 1. We talked about it so much. It all started at that IHOP in Concord back in 2021, having that jump start, having that conversation. It was the three of us, and I'm eternally grateful for you being a part of it, you wanting to make such a big impact on us. I know you've helped us out in so many ways. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to feel different, because a big thing for us was that family. And I know for all of you guys, we always say you're all our family. So we want to make sure that you guys are still a part of everything that's going on, whether within us, what's happening like this behind the scenes. And, it's very important that you guys are informed and updated because, again, you are our family and we want you guys to make sure that you guys are comfortable with what's going on. And yeah, I want to just say how grateful I am, how blessed I am to have you as a brother, Jeremy. And I know everyone's gonna miss you and seeing the things you do for us. Because I mean, just look at what we've done so far. It's only the beginning, and you're a part of all of that. And like Stefan said, hopefully sometime soon. You know, you never know what could happen, but I'm excited to see what you do. I know you got a lot of big things planned. I know there's a lot of things for you that are coming out, and big projects you have planned, and I'm excited to see it. I know Stefan is. I know everybody is excited to see it, and I know we're your number one fans. We're cheering you on. So love you, brother, and appreciate you as always. Pitch and Pros family, we're back at it again. Episode number 7. I'm here, myself, Justin Wolf, your co-host, with my lovely co-host right here, Mr.
Hey,
Stefan
okay.
Curtis Jones.
Okay, get in your bag.
Yes, sir. Today we got a good discussion, good episode for you boys and girls out there. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we don't discriminate.
Yes, sir. But we got a big one. But make sure before anything, follow us on our social media platforms on Instagram at Pitch and Pros, Blue Sky now,
Yes, sir.
which is nice. LinkedIn, for all the business moguls out there.
Hey, okay.
You like that? See? And then YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, check out the video if you want to see our faces,
We look good today.
Hey, we're fitted
We
as
look good every
always.
day.
Hey, all the time. If you want to see some nice outfits, come check us out on YouTube.
Mhm.
But if you want to just listen, you're on a car ride, just trying to tap in, see what we got going on, you can check us out on Spotify, Apple Music, or Amazon Music, right?
Yes,
Amazon
sir.
Music, yep.
Yep.
Apple Podcasts. And yeah, let's make sure we get to it today, and hopefully you guys will enjoy a nice episode from us.
Jeez, let's get to it. Okay.
Took me a while, you guys.
Look at him, bruh.
Took me a while, but we're getting the intro slowly but surely from me.
That was fire, bro. You smoked that. That was fire.
I appreciate that. It's getting there. I'm trying to, get going. I'm getting comfy with it, getting a little comfy.
Yeah. I'll rock with it. So you got a surprise for me today, apparently.
I
right?
do. And to be honest, it's nothing crazy, but especially for my boy right here, my biggest thing was, how are you? Genuinely. Like,
Damn.
how you doing? Like, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually? Just how are you? Because I feel like, it's been a while since, one, we discussed on camera.
Mm-hmm.
Two, I know I see you every day, so
yeah,
it's different. But I think
I'm sick of this dude, bro. I'm kidding. I love this guy.
I see him too much. But no, genuinely, just I think it's good to know how you're doing, because I feel like we discuss a lot, but I don't know if we really tap into how we're really doing with everything going on, because we're both very busy people, and I think, especially at the time of recording this, it's the new year. So Happy New Year to you all.
Happy New Year, y'all.
Happy
Technically episode 4 came out. Well, I'm losing track.
You're bugging
I'm
out.
losing track. We
5,
got
6, and then 7. So yes,
we got a lot in the clip for y'all.
Yes, we do. But I mean, in terms of us talking, this is our first time recording in 2025. So I just want to tap in, see how you're doing, and that's like I said, it's not a crazy surprise, but for everybody, for you, just I want to see how you're doing. Just kind of get this started.
I appreciate that. I want to say though, for y'all at home, I thought he was gonna expose me. I thought he was gonna like throw a trick question at me.
Never, come on now.
Something like mad tough. But no, I actually do appreciate that, because I know we haven't really had that discussion since probably the intro episode, or like episode 2. But it's been a minute.
That, and I mean also just mental health episode 2, episode 4. But I mean, even then we didn't really like tap into how we're doing in that present moment in time. It was more just overall. So I mean, like, how are you really doing, like, in this present day?
I'm solid. I think I'm happy with how the New Year's been. I feel like there's a lot of moving parts for everyone, like us 3 included,
for sure.
Like whether that be career, personal. But I think it's going in a great direction. I hope it is for the viewers and the listeners out there too. We love y'all. We hope you guys are having a great start to the new year. I'm really looking forward to the growth that we're gonna see here. Like that's where I'm at right now. It's just like I'm really excited about that, because we just like I already alluded to, we have so many episodes in the clip already. Like, we're ahead of schedule, which is a beautiful thing. Like, we're excited to roll out these future episodes that we got going on, and
big things coming. Coming. It's exciting. It's very, very exciting.
It's huge. I'm grateful to like just spend the time with you guys that I get to spend. I'm becoming a lot more appreciative of alone time, and just like,
that's good.
Yeah, learning how to really navigate that in a way of just understanding that it's okay to like be on your own, and it's like you don't have to be lonely if you're alone. And so I'm just like really enjoying that.
Good, bro.
I moved recently. I'm in Berkeley now.
Big time.
Berkeley's Berkeley, but I'm grateful to have a roof over my head, and I'm grateful to still have the jobs that I have. And yeah, I mean, I'm just grateful right now. I think like I'm still planning out things a little bit, even though I did planning end of last year for this year.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm kind of just getting back on the horse with some of the things that I did well week 1 of the year that I
Yeah.
maybe slipped up on.
No, fair.
And then just continuing to adjust day by day, week by week. That's pretty much where I'm at.
Good, bro.
What about you,
I'm
my
happy
guy?
to hear that.
Thank you.
No, first, no, I'm really happy to hear that because I know, like, especially with how things did go kind of last year, and especially how we're starting and how you're starting. Like,
Yeah, facts.
good. No, I'm glad to hear that, bro.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that.
For me, I mean, same thing. I'm grateful for everything that's happening. I think I'm in the best headspace I've been in a very long time. So
I can see it too. I've seen it off cam, on cam.
No, I'm just feeling my best self, and I think I'm just continuing to learn to be the best self I can be. Because I think there's a lot of things I've learned, especially, I mean, just recently as well. I think I've learned a lot about myself, and just very similar to you. I got to just continue to appreciate that alone time, but also,
Mhm.
you know, there's still a lot of things I need to do personally to continue to elevate. I want to continue to elevate myself in like just like small ways, but
Yeah.
just continuing to create good habits. I think as the new year like shifted, I think I've kind of continued where I left off. So I wouldn't really say it was like a big transition, but to be fair, I think there are some, like I said, just small habits I want to continue to create and build for myself to just take another big step.
Mhm.
But no, I feel blessed. I feel wonderful. Like,
Blessed and highly favored, baby.
but like I said, I'm grateful for the position I'm in right now. I'm grateful for how life is starting to turn out. A lot, like you said, a lot of moving parts for myself, a lot of change, a lot of new people coming into my life, a lot of like people leaving my life. It's a whole lot.
Mhm.
It's a whole lot, and it's a whole new experience for me. So I think I'm just excited to see where things start to go in life and just how this year goes on. And I've realized, I just got to stay present at the end of the day, because I think I don't want to think so far ahead with everything that's happening.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've realized it's like if I think too far ahead, I'm gonna get overwhelmed. And the more I've been just so present in what's happening right now and how I can just fix little things day by day, I just feel so much happier
Yeah,
and
and it
at
builds up.
peace. Oh, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. No, so I'm definitely like, I'm great, bro. I'm doing good. I'm
Yeah,
doing
I
good.
love that.
I'm
Let's
doing good.
go. Love
So
that.
yeah, and I mean, honestly, I think this kind of transitions really well into our topic,
Mhm.
and just in terms of for all of you out there, just really learning from our own experiences, and just also learning from your own as well, and just having that self-awareness to look to elevate and grow and like as an individual, but maybe an athlete,
Mhm.
entrepreneur, excuse me, I can't even speak English. Jeez.
Entrepreneur. Southern.
Crazy.
Hey, y'all, entrepreneur. Jewelry. Hey, show them the new watch. Show them the new watch. For the viewers out there, if you're not listening, go to the YouTube right now.
I don't
My man's got a
flex.
bust down.
All right.
Bust down Rolly Avalanche. No, I'm just kidding. It's a Seiko. It's a nice gold Seiko.
This
Got a
guy trying to get me
nice.
to flex. I can't. I don't like flexing like that. I like being,
Hey man, he
very
drippy. If you don't
subtle,
see the drip and you don't
very
respect it,
subtle.
tune out right now. No, I was playing. Please don't.
I like to be subtle, but no, my fashion sense is getting there. But no, just making sure you guys, learn like we kind of said, like I'm saying, like really just learning from our experiences, what we've gone through in terms of our professional world, and how it is as a pro, and learning from the pros, because we want to help you guys at the end of the day honestly go further than us. I think that's the biggest thing, is just getting a step further, and that's why we're here, is to help you guys and enlighten you guys with so much information. Not too much where it's like, oh gosh, but enough to allow yourselves to take steps forward, because I think this also helps us take good steps forward as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think we talked about great days, but we for sure have rough days. I
Facts.
think these rough days can either make or break somebody. And so I know we don't want to kind of talk too much about, the mental health part of it, like we have already, and tune into episode 4 if you want to do that. But make sure, you guys understand how to learn from experience. Because I know, like myself personally, it's as an athlete, it's kind of hard going through a rough day, because you feel like you start to lose track of what your end goal is,
Mhm.
and trying to learn and get to your end goal by still, being almost perfect as possible. Cause it's like you have this whole plan. And I know, like, for myself personally, I had this whole plan of, I'm gonna make it pro at this age. I'm gonna take this path. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Cause I already had it set out of what I want to do. I'm like, I'm gonna go to college, play in college. As soon as I'm done, I'm out. I'm going professional. I'm gonna sign a contract. But the process and the journey of it was way different than expected.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that easy. It's not that easy. And there's definitely going to be hiccups. And that's something I had to definitely realize, and I think those hiccups are important. Like I said, life lessons. And I think for myself, the life lessons were from those ones for sure. So, I mean, before I kind of get into an experience, what would you say on your end in terms of like, the business side and yourself as well?
Yeah, I think a lot of my life lessons come from mistakes. If you are one of those people like, excuse me, like me, who learns the hard way, I feel you. And those of you who don't learn the hard way, listen to me so you don't have to. I would say like the first thing that comes to mind for me,
Mm,
when it comes to mistakes I've made on the sports business side,
mm,
the first one I want to start with is actually it relates to a job I had, and like for confidentiality and for my own like private reasons, I'm not going to share specifics.
mm,
But the situation was, so I had a job. It was a sales role, and it was with a media company within sports. And I started there as an intern. It was going well. I was there, throughout undergrad, and then
mm.
beyond undergrad, when I graduated, I came on full time. And for those of you who know me, you literally know what I'm talking about. So like, it's not
Yeah,
confidential really, but I'm just not naming names because I don't want to deal with any sort of issues with that
you don't need
in that
to.
sense. And I want
Yeah,
to
yeah.
respect the company and the people who I worked with, because I do still have respect for them. But the situation that transpired, that I think a lot of other people who are either coming up in sports business or just
Mm,
business in general, really, like
yeah.
this isn't necessarily sports specific, is really being careful and being mindful about how you
Mm,
manage business relationships. I
mm.
know in episode 2 we talked about relationships in sports,
Yeah, yeah,
but business is a game, like, and
yeah.
that's what I've learned. And
Mm,
I don't really enjoy succumbing to that kind of stuff.
yeah.
I think that idea and people playing into that idea can be detrimental at times, but
Mhm,
I've come to learn that it's the truth.
mm,
Business really is a game, and if you don't play it the right way, you'll lose really fast,
mm.
especially in
Ooh,
sports, music, and entertainment.
that's a good one.
Bar,
That's a
yeah,
bar.
that's a bar.
Bar.
Um, but that's because mainly, especially in sports, music, and entertainment, it's a high barrier of entry industry.
Mm,
It's a lot harder to get into because there's super high demand, or excuse me, super low demand, super high supply,
mm,
or flip that around, super high demand of jobs, super low supply of
mm,
jobs. And so there's a lot of people who miss out. And the people who do get those jobs, you have to be very intentional about keeping them. So
mm.
let me tell you about the time I lost my job.
Uh-oh.
So it
Mm,
really came from having a disagreement with upper management. So when I came on full time, I was still doing a lot of what I was doing as an
mm,
intern and as a part-time
mm.
worker. But obviously my responsibilities increased.
Yeah.
My pay increased. I had to secure a little bit of a bag when I graduated,
Of course.
and I got a new title and all that stuff. But what didn't change for me was my emotional maturity.
Mm, mm.
And yeah, and
Mm, okay.
and that changed real fast, because the task at hand for me, I was focused on building out the name, image, and likeness division for this company that I was working at.
Mm,
And I think the upper management above me, I think everybody, we all, as a team, we all had the same vision of wanting to give high school and collegiate athletes an opportunity to really grow their personal brands
mhm,
through the company that we all worked for,
mhm,
because it's such a staple within that specific sport that the company was in.
mhm,
And so I was focused on long-term goals and long-term structures for that, right?
mhm,
So I wanted to make sure that the contracts that we had in place were both in favor of us as a company, but also suitable to the market of name, image, and likeness
mm.
within collegiate and high school athletics.
Yeah.
Especially because since I was working at a media company, as a media brand, if you're entering the agency realm,
Mhm,
you're competing with the create. I think what it's CA stands for Creative Artist Agency, and then you got the William Morris Edison, the WMEs, you got
mm.
the Clutches. There's so many different major agencies out there that rep athletes, musicians, celebrities, like. the whole gamut, right?
Mhm.
And so I was trying to position us to be prepared to compete with those, like top hitting agencies.
Yeah.
And so while I was focusing a lot of my work on the long term
Mm.
projects, upper management was really wanting me to shift my focus to short term. And for them, short term was okay, as soon as we get this contract done, we need to just start bringing on athletes and signing them
Mm.
ASAP.
Mhm.
But my counter argument to that was, okay, we can do that, but if we don't have the right structure in place in
Mm.
terms of how their compensation is worked,
Mhm.
and the teams that we have around us to
Mhm.
facilitate the business functions that we need to do for them,
Mhm.
it could be a bad look if things go really bad
Mm.
and we don't have those plan A, B, C through Z
Mhm.
set up. And because I was sort of like having my foot on the brake with bringing on the athletes that we were already speaking to
Mm.
come join the company. There had reached a point where I had a conversation with upper management, and they asked me, they're like, Stefan, like, why have we not brought on any players yet?
Mhm.
And I said, oh, well, I've been trying to focus on XYZ and get this stuff situated.
Mhm.
And ultimately, like, it led to upper management saying, well, okay, you're thinking too long term, you need to focus on the short term, you need to do
Mm.
this and right now, like we're behind. Which, in hindsight, as a coordinator role, because I was a coordinator role, that's an entry level role, I should have just respected upper management's wishes
Mhm.
and said, hey, here's my feedback, here are my concerns, but if this is what you need me to do, I'll do that.
Mhm.
And instead it became a hostile conversation with
Mm.
a top exec at the company. And ultimately, emotions rose on my side, emotions rose on his side.
Mm.
And I ended up, being let go and parting ways. And
Mm.
I consider it to be mutual because there was already other stuff going on that I just wasn't necessarily happy about.
Mhm.
But ultimately it was my lack of ability to control my emotions in that moment that
Mhm.
led to me being let go.
Mm.
And at the same time, hindsight's always 2020, but I am grateful for that experience because I the mistake that I made was that, and I learned from it, and I realized, okay, this is a business.
Mhm.
And especially it's one that's not mine. Like the podcast, this is
Yeah.
our business.
Yeah, for
This is
sure.
owned, run, and operated by Justin Wolf, Stefan Jones, and Jeremy Yusuf.
Yeah.
But so, like, with this, we can make those executive decisions.
Absolutely, yeah.
If I'm an employee with a W-4 and I get paid bi-weekly, I just need to shut the fuck up and do what I'm supposed to do, like straight
Yeah,
up.
I get
And
you.
I learned that the hard way.
Mm.
But luckily, through my hard work and dedication, I was able to get the role that I have now at St. Mary's.
Mm.
And shout out to my manager Ryan O'Rourke. Like, this dude, he's become a friend to me. Like,
Mhm.
just seeing how he is as a father, as a supervisor, as a seller within sports, and just like his resume working in collegiate athletics for over a decade. Like, shout out to him. Like, shout out to
Sick.
Ryan. That's my guy. But I learned a lot from him about
Awesome.
emotional maturity and regulation. So
Mhm.
on the business side, that would be my first recommendation, is like, if you feel in some type of way, sometimes you just gotta keep it to yourself. Like, give feedback in an appropriate manner,
Mhm.
but don't let it make or break your ability to earn a living.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta bite the bullet. Look,
Facts.
just how it can be.
Yeah,
But I get you. Thank you for sharing that to
of
everybody.
course.
I think everyone can, learn from that experience and just I think like we talk about, it's just those personal experiences that people need to learn from
Yeah.
to see like if they've gone through something similar, like, damn, all right, I'm not alone
Yeah.
at
And
the end
I
of the day.
and I know you're not alone, right? Because like that
Yeah.
was a rough day for me. But
Yeah.
what was like a really rough day for you that you had as an athlete?
I think it comes down to just like training. I obviously there's rough games. I've definitely had rough games, and I actually brought up another good one for me. I have two that kind of come to mind. I think first one is definitely like a training session when I realized, I felt like I was putting myself off track because I never really took a step back and realized how much I was actually doing and how much effort and energy I was putting into the amount of work I wanted to, get myself to the next step.
When and where was this training session?
This was during COVID. I think this was actually like right before I was gonna get started with SF State again because they had announced that we were actually gonna have our season. Thank goodness. Um, but I remember being at Clayton Valley and I think I was training with my boy Alex. I think we had like a really early morning session at like 7.
Wait, sorry, real quick. De Castro?
Yeah. Yeah.
Shout out to him because I just saw he posted on IG that he's actually like stepping away from the game.
Oh, that's my boy. No, Alex, love you, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
shout
proud of
out to
you.
you, Alex.
Um, damn, the COVID days, those were the days. Just getting to train with my boy for sure, and that's why, like, that's why it's a core memory for me to remember that, because I remember we had a conversation after. So I was hot. I was pissed because I was like, I felt like I trained terribly. I was like, nothing was going my way. I couldn't get a touch. I couldn't get a pass. I was getting cooked in like 2 touch. I was like, bro, what is going on? I just felt like I was off. I was like, is this how I am now? It was one of those moments like, is
Man,
this how I am?
yeah.
But I mean, even like, being in a better position than I was, like, I should have had that mindset. Like, it's just one of those days. But I think I was so caught up in the mindset of like, I need to take every day as a step to get me into my path and to get me to the next level, that I almost didn't really let it discourage me too much, but I let it kind of eat me up a bit.
Mhm.
Because the rest of the day I'm like pissed. I'm like, why did I train like this today? Like, I didn't train well. And then I knew I had later set like a session later on. I still had to like get up for it and be ready for it. But I don't think I really took the time of like, probably was burnt out. Burnout's real, but also just like fatigue. And fatigue is real. So it's like, it's going to be normal to have those days. And I don't think I fully realized that it just was one of those days. And that kind of just stands out to me because I think I let it happen too much at times, where there were days where I wouldn't move forward, even though I knew I was very good at finding ways to just let things go and just next day, next step. Okay, another day's an opportunity to get better. I think I did have some moments where I'm like, this is holding me back. How can I fix it right there and then? Like, how can I fix it in that
Mhm.
moment? Okay, let's stay a little longer to get more. And I'm still tired. I'm like, damn, I still can't get it. So, it's just realizing that it's a part of the process. The process is going to be long. It's going to be grueling, but there's going to be days where it's going to feel like that. And I think that's just a day that really stands out to me, is being able to train and be like, okay, yes, I was tired. No problem. It shouldn't be an excuse, but it just wasn't my day. How can I move forward? How
Mhm.
can I learn from it? Next day, okay, cool. I'm back at it.
Was there a quote that you heard or some like a piece of advice that somebody gave you or something actionable that you did to help change that mindset for you? Because that doesn't change overnight. So how were you able to
Ooh.
do that?
Honestly, I think it was just experience. I think it's just kind of going through my experiences and just kind of just maturing more. I think I was still just immature in terms of
Mm,
like playing wise and just other things. Because there's even moments when I was playing on a team. I know it's kind of surprising for myself because I'm always been the person to try to lead and demand. But I think there were moments, especially with the team, like I still had that little bit of immaturity where you know, when someone started to kind of push my buttons too much and get me over my edge a little bit, then I get frustrated and kind of like let it out a little bit more and like kind of hash out at them or someone else. And I think it was just that immaturity in a way. And kind of similar, I think that emotional immaturity for myself. Like, I'd say for as long as you guys know me, I've been pretty emotionally mature, but I think
100%.
I've matured more, especially like now. I've matured a lot more, but I think in those moments, I still felt like I wasn't very mature.
Mm,
Like, I may have presented myself as pretty mature, but I think there were still like those little situations that kind of push me over, because probably reminds me of like back when I was younger, like getting just grilled. So I think it kind of had those moments of like, oh, it's like back at it again. Okay, I gotta just like on guard mode. So
mhm.
I think it's just like I said, just maturity finally kind of kicked in and just learning from it. And there's always been something where like, my dad had said there's something that always stands out, and that's it's helped me as I've grown as a player too, though. And he said at a young age, he's like, just flush it down the toilet.
Mhm.
It's done. It's in the past. Like, that day, that moment, you can't go back to it. You can't fix it again. Like, it already happened. You just gotta flush it, keep going, keep moving.
Facts.
So that's why it's like I use that still to this day, because it's like I can't go back. I can't go back and fix what happened. It's done. Like, it is what it is. At the end of the day, it's like, what can I do now to fix it? So I think I've reminded myself that more. I think in a lot of those moments, like I said, I was just so focused on how am I getting myself to my next step? How am I getting myself to another level? How am I elevating myself in the best ways possible? Because I literally did everything you could think of. Like, during COVID, I was going crazy. Like, I was doing 3 sessions a day, sometimes 4. I'd be literally like doing runs. I'm juggling against the wall. I'm in my like at my house, like working out in the garage. I'm going to a team session. And then whenever I started working out with Daniel, we talked about last episode, like my trainer, everybody, like I was just doing nonstop. training nonstop, and I was even doing stuff. I got you. I was even like on the like at night if I wasn't playing video games with the boys, throwing YouTube on, I'm watching players. Like I'm just analyzing. I'm like, all right, who's playing my position? How are they crossing the ball? How are they taking their touch? What are they doing? Like I'm like, sorry, I still have all those papers of like the notes I wrote from like just the little moments like that,
That's
trying to just
fire.
learn. So
Is it like in a notebook or?
yeah, and just papers. I had loose papers too, just like everywhere. So
Hey,
I have
get it where you can, man.
exactly.
I
So I had like
respect that.
papers and notebooks and just like a bunch of stuff of just everything I remember and just reflecting every day, stuff like that. I gotta get back to that, but I think it was just like I was in a different mode, and I don't think I really fully realized the toll it ended up taking long term, just how much it took out of me at the
Mm,
end of the day. But I think that those rough days ended up kind of like I said, feel like it threw me off. I'd make it feel like it threw me off in my project in my process.
mm.
But yeah, and I mean like there's gonna be games too, and I think I could go over a few games if I really wanted to, but no, I mean there's been moments in games where I mean back when I was playing with SF City, whoo, I got cooked one game and I got subbed out in half, and I was like, oof, it's a rough one, and that kind of just I think turned my season around too personally, and I think but to be fair, I think that's one I learned from. That's one I learned from where I'm like, I need to do better in terms of like I let it eat me up that day, the next day, and then like I said, what playing time stuff like that started to kind of piece out a little bit, but then I found myself to like build myself back up and want it more and be more hungry and kind of get back on my grind and just get back to how I felt like things should have been for myself. But yeah, I think those are like two core moments that like really stick out to me in terms of just like using rough days as either one a learning experience or two just kind of eating me up a little bit more long term.
To
But yeah,
backtrack, because you talked a lot about all the different things that you was doing when you was in grind mode with the juggling, the
yeah,
notes, breaking down film,
yeah,
but it wasn't always like that. Like, because I know
yeah,
you had said to me that there was a time in your footy career where you didn't not the work ethic part, but you didn't have like
mm,
the training regimen that you wish you had,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
how do you go for what mistakes were you making when you didn't have a regimen, and how did you pivot from that to actually like doing everything you just listed out? Because that's
Whew.
because again, that's another thing, like overcoming a rough day and switching
Mm,
your mindset.
mm.
Switching your mindset or adopting a new training regimen, those things don't happen overnight.
No,
So
not at all.
what did you do, and or what
Mm.
mistakes were you making that made you realize, oh, I need to turn this shit up?
Mm. I mean, it's great that you say that because I could tell the kids, and you hear me say sometimes, I'm like, it's not magic. Shit doesn't just happen magically. Like you
Hmm.
have to like work at it and practice it and work through it. I think for me, it was just I think what kind of turned and flipped the switch for me was like when I fully pivoted to just soccer. Because I mean, like I
Mm,
said, I did kung fu and soccer for so long like together
yeah.
that I mean soccer was a big focus, but I still had kung fu. Once I hit like freshman year of high school, I transitioned to just soccer. Like it was just everything for me. And that's when I really focused on it and like honed in on it and was doing little things after training. Like I'm asking my coaches, my high school coaches, what can I do better? What can I do better today? What's another thing that I can work on to step up my game? How can I get to the next level? How can I play JV? How can I play varsity? Like just
Yeah.
what are the little steps that you see for me that help me get there? Because there was always that potential, but it's like, okay, what am I gonna do? And I think as that kind of happened, then it slowly progressed into more and more and more. But then eventually it hit what my junior year when I was finally doing more ID camps and everything in college
Junior high
camps.
school.
Yeah,
Mm.
junior year of high school, I was starting to get more of the ID camps. I'm like, I need to take a step forward if I want to play college. I need to get myself out there. And I saw that I was steps behind still, especially after how my junior year of high school went in terms of playing wise. It was not great. It was not great. But just learning from that, and I'm like, okay, what can I do? That's when I found Golden Boot.
Hey, shout
That's
out
when I
Golden Boot
found Golden Boot.
Academy.
So it was like that time where they were first onto the scene and they were at like the SF State camp. They introduced themselves to me and I was like, hey, I told my mom like I still had their card. I DM'd them. I say like I want to get a session in, and that just kind of that picked up from there, and it allowed me to continue like actually putting in more time to train and being like, okay, club training is not enough.
Mhm.
I gotta do more. I gotta do more on my own because I was always a person where all my friends that I was playing with, we'd go like if I'm hanging out with them, all right, we're gonna go play. Like today, like
Yeah.
I'd bring my cleats, everything, no matter what, because we were gonna go play, go shoot, whatever it was. But I think then I started to emphasize like more parts to my game rather than just kind of just kicking the ball, touching the ball. Like
Do you
it
think
started,
part of
yeah.
that too comes from, because you mentioned like having done kung fu and other sports? Do you think part of that comes from like not having what's the phrase, like not having too many eggs in different baskets?
Yes, I get what you mean. Oh,
Yeah.
100%. I think it allowed me. Well, one, I think I learned a lot of the discipline part from kung fu,
Hmm.
but I think it then it wasn't so much trying to juggle and balance so many things, like you said, like
Yeah.
not too many eggs in one basket. Or yeah, I'd say like
Yeah.
it ended up being just like that was my focus. So then now I kind of transitioned it into that. Like everything, like still I was playing soccer all the time. Like kung fu was still like more of like a side thing at the
Oh,
end of the
okay. I
day.
see.
It was
Okay.
still
That
more of
makes
a side
sense.
thing, but
Yeah.
I still was like the soccer was emphasis. But I stopped doing kung fu once I hit freshman year
Hmm. Hmm.
because then I trained every day for high school. I was still trying to do stuff on my own, and then like I said, once I actually started doing that and like God bless both my parents for allowing me to, have the opportunity to work with Goose and Johannes at Golden Boot. Like that allowed me to elevate to another level. Because it did, at the end of the day, it did elevate me more and it allowed me to get more opportunity and made me hungrier, pushed me in a different way. Because I know my club coaches pushed me and my high school coaches pushed me, but they brought it like different side out of me because yeah, these guys wanted to kill me. I remember a lot of the lake runs, the hill sprints, throwing up, all that stuff, dying during sessions, being like, I need to
Yeah.
breathe, my allergies and everything. But yeah, I think that helped me kind of then start to find that balance and find more of the focus on that and just more of a determination of it. And
Mm.
then I think also once I hit my freshman year of college, like kind of what we talked about before. I'm very blessed to like got minutes and travel and everything, but there's something else that I was like, I'm not satisfied. Like I know I talked with people. They're like, probably should have played more. I'm like, yeah, I guess. But at the end of the day, like I saw that I needed to do more. I needed to be more, and just I stayed hungry. And then once it transitioned to COVID, literally I did everything I possibly could to figure out, okay, what can I do better? Like gym more because I was in the gym but not enough. I worked out more. I like I said, I trained more. I was out in my backyard, like wearing indoors on the concrete. I was on like dirt and grass. We
Yeah.
put up like the rebounder goal. I'm like smacking against the rebounder, just and I'm finding random things that I can do, like getting bands. I got this random like skill. It was this random little slingshot pass thing I had wrapped around me. Pass it, it comes back to me. Stuff like that. Because
Yeah.
I couldn't smack the ball against the wall because the dogs were gonna go crazy. But like it's little things like that. I just found ways. I would go on runs all the time. I would go on runs with the ball. I go on a run
That's
with the ball.
smart.
So like just getting my touches in. So it was a process. It was a lot of things I tried to add more, add more, add more. But I think like kind of going back to that a little bit, then it started to be okay, maybe it's a little too much, you know?
Yeah.
And then now it's just like finding that balance. And I think that's a tough part is finding a balance. And I think, especially as it kind of transitioned into me being more of a student athlete in college, balance was tough. So please, for all you student athletes out there, balance, balance, balance. You need to balance your schedule because trust me, I get it. I've been through it 6 classes at one time, working a full time job essentially in that moment, training every day, still trying to have a social life, your friends, your teammates, girlfriends, whatever it may be, boyfriends, whatever it is. Like it's finding the balance. And I think that was something that was so tough for me was to juggle that because I had all of those focuses.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it was like, where is the time for myself too, at the end of the day too? Like, where's the time? And, I think one of the toughest things too was, when I transitioned into commuting,
Mhm.
now it's the time I got to drive. I can't stay on campus too long. I got to go to work. I got to train. I got to do this, this class to this class. Boom, 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 boom. It was crazy. Like it was easy when I was on campus. Freshman year, no problem. I'm on campus, easy. Go to work. I wasn't working yet, so it was no problem.
Mhm.
But even then, and then when I went to South Carolina too, that was my time of feeling like a pro because my school's online. I was still working a little bit. Like I wasn't really doing the coaching part, but I was still with the business.
Right.
But then also like I got to just focus on playing, worked out when I could, going to the trainers, taking care of my body, still doing my social things because I was with my boy Jacob, but also, FaceTiming people, talking with family, friends, anything. So it made life very easy. But once it came to my hectic lifestyle, like even whenever I lived off campus my junior year college,
Mhm.
still tough because I had to commute to work. I wasn't doing sessions in SF yet. I was doing stuff in Oakland, so I had to still commute after training, come back, and then all right, get back to it. But it still was easier because I was in the city. But once it came to like commuting, driving everywhere, ooh, it got tough. Ooh, it got tough. It's already getting me, my brain thinking about everything again. I'm like, geez, this was a lot. So I think, having that balance is key. And I think that was one of the toughest things for me to have because it wore me out. It wore me out. I got sick at one point because I had so much going on. I'm just like, oh gosh, like I can't even control it anymore. So I think, you know, making sure you kind of time things out, be organized, something I need to work on, being more organized. So if for all of you out there that need to, understand, you need to just continue to focus on what are your priorities.
There
Is
you
it
go. I was
school?
waiting for you to say that.
Who's gonna
Because
who's coming?
no, because
Yeah.
one thing I wanted to
Yeah.
say into that regard too is
Mm,
because it can be hard to set priorities,
absolutely.
and you have to figure out, okay, what I found to be the easiest, and
Mm,
I definitely want to hear what you think.
mm,
What I found to be the easiest is setting short-term priorities based on like the resources,
mm,
information, and knowledge that you have, right? So it's
yeah.
like, okay, if you're a student athlete and you're doing all the things that Justin was doing,
Mm,
okay, do you need to focus more on making money right now? Like, are you
mm,
struggling in that regard? Are you
yeah.
not playing on scholarship? Do you not have family that's helping you out with educational expenses, stuff like that?
Mm,
If not, okay, then maybe you need to sacrifice that social time
mm,
or some extra curriculars to go to work, like,
yeah.
because obviously it's going to be part-time,
Yeah.
but you got to shift that focus. Or
Yeah.
if money's not an issue, okay, are you out too much and socializing
Mm,
too much? Like, are
mm,
you not putting enough work outside of
yeah.
practices and outside of team trainings, and really understanding that? And I think to draw a comparison,
Mm,
one mistake that I made
yeah.
with prioritizing was with networking. I wasn't prioritizing the person. Like, I was prioritizing
Mm,
the opportunity that I can get,
yeah.
or like the title that they held, or the company that they worked at. I wasn't prioritizing the person. And this is a phrase I've used before, and I'm probably going to use it 100 episodes from now.
Mm,
A lot of the time in sports, music, and entertainment, it is about who you know and not necessarily what you know. Because let me tell y'all, there's a lot of people
yes.
who do the same work that I do that I know. I'm not speaking from an arrogant place. I know they're not on the level that I'm at. And I say that
Yeah.
confidently, and
Yeah.
I say that with respect to those people because I don't know what their experiences are.
Yeah.
But anyways, I say that to say, like, you need to really just prioritize the person and not the opportunities, because if you know the people,
Mhm.
then those opportunities will come. But you really knowing them, having a meaningful relationship. Prime example, I have two mentors in my line of work. The first mentor I had is my boy Mike Epstein. Shout out Mike. He's a digital marketing director over at Good Talk. It's a music label. They have the Mexican OT, Lexi Gates, and he's great. He's awesome, and he's taught me a lot about just how the music industry works,
Mhm.
a lot of digital marketing tools and resources to leverage for like our pod or
Yeah.
just like my full time line of work. And that relationship was developed through. It wasn't cold networking. We had
Mhm.
met through work when I was at the media company that I had mentioned in my first point.
Yeah.
But I took it upon myself to reach out and say, "Hey, I really like the content you're putting out on LinkedIn. It's very informative about music.
Mm.
I want to learn from you. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to learn from you, and I want it to be a consistent thing." And now I consider him a good friend.
That's awesome.
And
That's really
and
cool.
thank you, I appreciate that.
Mm.
And then another mentor of mine, Chie Kobayashi. Shout out to you, Chie. She currently works as the director of integrated marketing for the Los Angeles Lakers. Sorry, I was having a little brain fart. But she works there, and before she was at the Lakers, she was the brand marketing director for live sports, music, and ah, I'm forgetting the other one at Hulu.
Oh, nice.
And the connection that we had
Mm.
was she went to UCI as well.
Mm.
And when I was the co-president of the Sports Business Association, God, I can't talk today. When I was the
Mr.
co-president
English
of
major. I'm just kidding.
you entrepreneur. But anyways, when I was the president of SBA, I was responsible for coordinating meetings for our quarterly events.
Mhm.
And we did a collab event with Women in Leadership, which is another student-led organization at UC Irvine. And we reached out to Chie, Wincy Wong, and I'm blanking on who the third person was, but we reached out to three female leaders in the sports industry to come talk to both of our clubs. And I really enjoyed Chie and what she shared, and I thought she had the most relevant experience that I was the most interested in.
Mhm.
I still have a relationship with Wincy as well,
Nice.
she works for the Cleveland Guardians. But Chie, I reached out to her, months down the line when I was working at the media company. And I was like, hey, I work in sales here. Like, I would love to make something happen.
Mhm.
And 6 months after that, I closed a deal with Hulu. Like,
Oh, that's
yeah. And
big
so
time.
appreciate that. And
Mhm.
it's really about making those connections. But I use that example
Mhm.
to kind of just piggyback off of what you were saying with
Yeah.
prioritizing, and like, because what Justin listed off is a lot. And I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna take off my glasses for this one.
Ooh,
A lot of you motherfuckers ain't stepping anywhere near this guy when it comes to work ethic and the things that you do to be the greatest at what you do. I'm saying that full frontal. No, I'm not taking nothing back. A lot of y'all don't got the work ethic that this guy got. But for those of you who want it, listen to the advice we're giving here today.
Nah, that's love. I appreciate that. I'll I'll always be confident in myself and believing I'll work more than anybody, but I still gotta show love and respect to the people that do work and have gotten themselves to high places for sure. But I appreciate that. That's
Of
love.
course, my
That's love,
guy.
bro. I appreciate it. But no, yeah, I mean that's a perfect way to like really showcase, prioritizing, prioritizing your schedule, or not just your schedule, but like the right people, connecting with the right people. And once you put those people first, it was like, okay, then it's the opportunity second, like you said. Because I mean, same here for me in terms of, my line of work now, which is crazy to say. Just in terms of the coaching side,
Mm-hmm.
just I think, and that's honestly kind of also similar to what we were talking about right before that, in terms of like me looking at college. I needed to find the best opportunity. I needed to be persistent. I needed to build connections. Like it was pain. It was a pain, but honestly, also Golden Boot helped me get there because Goose was working at Esther State at the time, so he helped me kind of find a way in a way. Obviously, I had to do the dirty work in terms of working hard, reaching out, all that stuff. But
Yeah.
he still put in the word at the end of the day, and those connections are huge. And I'm sure, like all the people I know that are looking for teams, they reach out to me because they know I'm a part of staff now as well. So, but I think a lot of people that don't know exactly who I am as a person are just seeing me as assistant coach at SF State. For those of you, not just for looking at college or pro or anything, like I said, it doesn't have to be SF State, but anywhere, you got to be persistent though. You got to be persistent.
Yep.
And I'm sure like it yourself, like you have to be persistent because I mean, shoot, I see it in the back end, the business stuff you got to do. Like you got to be persistent,
Listen, bro.
Yeah, you got to be.
Man, that's a whole other pod
I know.
episode, bro. God damn.
No, like it's just being persistent because since I realized I had to do it with not just SF State, but all the schools I was reaching out to, it's important because that's that prioritizing it. Like, how bad do you want it? What do you want the most? When it came to my schedule, what did I want the most out of all of it? I wanted to play. That's why all my energy
Mm-hmm.
was to playing. That's
Mm-hmm.
why when it came to COVID, yeah, school was online, cool. But I probably, for student athletes out there, please put school first. Please realize that. But I was in a place where I was like, I'm grinding. I'm trying to play soccer. Like, this isn't even guaranteed. I'm going to go back to play college soccer. Like nothing was guaranteed. So I literally was like, I got to be in go mode. And I had an opportunity. That's what I stayed with you in Orange County. It was like I had my pro
Yeah,
trial
that
and
was dope.
everything. Like I got to get a trial during that time frame because I literally put everything into it. I was still playing for a team. So my full focus was soccer. Because like I said, I was not guaranteed to play college soccer again. COVID was so up in the air that I was just like, what do I do? I need to just find a way to play. I got to go pro right now. I was 19. I was like, I got to go pro right now. I don't care. I'm still young enough, not in that age where it's like transitioning still. Now I'm kind of different now, but at that age, I was like, I got to just make it happen. So that's why that was my priority in that sense. But now in terms of priorities, it's like, yeah, you gotta just, for all of you out there, balance. What is your priority? Like Stefan said, is it playing? Is it working, making money? Is it
just your education is just maybe your sport or whatever it is on the side, your job's on the side, but you want to get educated and you're blessed enough to either get scholarship athletically, academically, or have it paid for. What is it that you want? Like, what are you willing to put all your, not all your time and energy, but more of your time and energy into? And that's what
I like that.
you
Yeah.
do need to balance. And that's something like for myself, I still need to work on is that balance and being like, okay, because you and I've had conversations about this on the side. Like I feel like sometimes I shift my energy to one thing too much, the other one falls apart, and then I'll shift it to another one,
Mm-hmm.
and then it just kind of it's too the balance is like this. It's like a teeter totter. So I
Mm.
got to make sure, like, you know, for and I want you all to learn from this experience too. Is like don't let it teeter totter. Kind of just like if you fix one thing, make sure the other one comes with it, and it just kind of slowly comes together. If it drops a bit, make sure it's not just one drops and then it shifts. Right, just kind of keep coming together,
Yeah.
and just balance and let, like we keep saying, figure out what is the most important priority.
Yeah.
What is your most important priority? But yeah, I think that's kind of in terms of that balance. But I know I kind of wanted to touch on for all you athletes out there. For myself and my personal experience as an athlete, as a coach, reach out. Don't be afraid to reach out to coaches, reach out to like people. Literally, like Stefan said, reach out to people. Look for the opportunity, but reach out to the people and connect with as many people as you can. On a personal
Yeah.
level, know the person because then they're willing to give you more of that opportunity. Because I know for myself, and I'm seeing it as a college coach now, the people that are persistent and are really digging deeper into like me as a personal level,
Mm-hmm.
they are kind of opening my eye more like, let me see what they got. Because then I'm like, okay, they deserve an opportunity because they really want it. They're showing they want it. Because I know it's like I'm obviously they still got to be good enough, of course. But I see more of that persistence, and it really shows more their character. It shows their person and how bad they want it. And it, like I said, doesn't have to be with us. Shoot, go do your thing somewhere else. Like you can get a better opportunity as well. But if you want that, you got to get it. You got to go get it. You want to be pro? Go get it. Make those connections, build those connections, agents, players, coaches, someone in a random part of the staff, go get it. Connect with them because they might have a way in too. It could be random, like someone just helping out at the club or a team or whatever it is, working out for a business or working for a business. You're like, I want to work there. Okay, how can I get my way in? So it's just connecting little bits and pieces. It could be the smallest thing, but you're still building those connections, and just that's how you got to grow. And I think both of us personally, we could have done that more. I think if we could have done that more, who's to say we are not at a different level? Who's to say that we could have taken another step? Right? We're at great level. In my opinion, I think we're both at a great level. But who's to say we couldn't have made another one?
Mm.
You know.
Yeah.
So I think, but obviously God's plan. At the end of the day, God's plan. But no, but it is God's plan at the end of the day. So I think just learning from it and just understanding for you guys, you can still learn from those experiences for like us. But yeah, I think that's kind of what I got with that. I don't know. What is anything else that comes to mind for you in terms of, that topic and that idea, in terms of
Yeah.
like relationships and kind of building the network and,
Yeah.
growing more?
I think one thing that I would just add in closing
Mm,
is when it comes to prioritizing, like definitely a balance is great, but also too, I think sometimes it's okay to not have a balance. Like for
mm,
example, Kobe Bryant, he said, I don't have no plan B. Like hooping
yeah.
is my plan A.
Yeah.
Right. And so like it's a very risky mentality to
Yeah.
have, but look at where he ended up, right? And like
Facts.
if you have the right team around you, if you have the proper resources,
Mm,
and if you have a keyword you said earlier in this episode, determination. You need determination. You need work
mm,
ethic. And don't beat yourself up because I think both of us at times,
mm.
especially being quote unquote workaholics, even though we both
Yeah.
think that word is I
Not
don't like it.
got
But
more to do.
yeah, but even us, like even we recognize sometimes, okay,
Yeah.
hey, we can give ourselves some grace and understand that
Yeah.
we're already working very hard.
Yeah.
And maybe we just need to recalibrate and reprioritize, which that's something
Mm.
that is totally okay for you to do for those of you who are listening and watching out there. And what it would be your final pitch to our current and upcoming pros on an action that they can
Mm.
take right now, right after watching, right after listening. What's something that they can do today in this moment to go and work on amending mistakes maybe that they're making right now or to avoid the ones that we just mentioned?
Ooh. I don't know. One came to mind was literally, I mean, Nike, if you want to help us out one time at some point, just do it. At the end of the day, like literally just do it. Like if you are are hesitating on changing, a little bit of your schedule, changing, your approach to training, changing your approach to, just reaching out. If you're just like you're hesitating on, do I reach out to this coach? Do I reach out to this business partner? Do I reach out to this family member, whoever it may be? Just do it. Like tomorrow's not promised. At the end of the day,
100%.
tomorrow's not promised, but you can work on changing it right now in that exact moment. Like take in. So one thing I always think about, and we talk about a lot, especially with coaching at Golden Boot, and I know for myself personally, it's important, is just be that sponge. Like just really taking the information we're trying to give you guys, but not just us, but the people like you're around. Surround yourself with people that are wanting to elevate, like people that are doing better than you, and be okay with people doing better than you, because that's at the end of the day that helps you elevate and be better. So I think putting yourself in those positions also help you elevate and literally just do it, because you're like, I got to do more. I got to learn and just take in bits and pieces. Like I take stuff from you, I take stuff from Jeremy, I take stuff from my parents, I take stuff from my coworkers, my boss, whoever it is, my coaches from the past, other athletes that, and even like the people I train, they might be younger than me, might have less knowledge than me, but still it's just taking pieces and being open. And I think that's all it is just pick like bits and pieces, learn, and like I said, do it. Just go out there and do it. Don't be afraid to do it. Don't hesitate. Just if you mess up, again, like we talked about, learn from it. Learn from the mistakes. And just keep
Facts.
going. Keep growing.
Yeah, you kind of already mentioned what I was going to say, which is do exactly what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
Listen. Listen to
That's a
us.
good one.
Listen to your parents. Listen
Especially
to
that.
people who are in the places that you want to be.
Yeah.
Because the biggest thing, aside of it, like separate but also connected to everything we just talked about, the thing that will kill you is ego. If you think you know it all, I promise you, my guy or my gal, you don't. So stop thinking that you know it all. You do not.
Please don't leave me hanging.
You said what?
Don't leave me
My
hanging.
bad. I got you, bro. But
That's a good one.
yes, don't think that you know it all. Like you may be smart as hell, but if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Bar. But yeah, no,
That's a
my
big
pitch to y'all is like just listen.
Yeah.
Take advice, take wisdom. It's called wisdom for a reason.
Facts.
There's that phrase where it's like a smart person learns from their own mistakes, a wise person learns from the mistakes of others. And that, Pitch and Pros family, is the entire premise of this episode.
That's a great way to finish it off.
Oh
my
yeah.
friend, right there.
Oh yeah. I'm a closer, baby. Crunch time. So with that being said, I'm your co-host, Stefan Curtis Jones. This is my guy,
Mr. Justin Allen Wolf.
Yes, sir. You can find him at Justin Wolf with a E06 on Instagram. I'm Stefan C. Jones. That's EFA, not PH or
Stefan.
whatever y'all want to spell it with. We really appreciate y'all tuning in. If you're watching this on YouTube, please don't forget to like, leave a comment. Let us know if you hated it. Let us know if you loved it. Let us know if you learned
Facts.
nothing. Let us know if you learned everything. Just let us know something. Share
Please
it.
do.
If you found some helpful, share it with a friend, share it with a family, share it with a colleague. And you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Pitch and Pros. And thanks for tuning in to episode 7.
Appreciate y'all. We love y'all for real. Thank you.
See you doing the right way. See you playing the right way. Salute.